Hey, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Grandpa coming to you from the living room in Jacksonville Beach. And today I want to talk to you about a happy event that happened in the midst of a very, very sad event in the life of our country. In April of 2001, your grandmother and I got engaged. And we had been dating for a while. We both worked at the IRS, and we had a lot of friends at the IRS. One of those friends is a lady named Karen. She invited us to her wedding, which was going to happen on Friday, September 14th, 2001, in some town up in upstate New Jersey. I forget the town. Before that day, Frank, you were born. But that was in July, late July. So we got to September and we were looking forward to going up there and hanging out with Karen and her husband Mark. He also worked at the IRS, and there were several other people that were coming to the wedding. We were going to take our friend Johnny up. He was our friend too. And then we woke up on September 11th. I was working Flexi Place up in my bedroom in Stone Harbor. Grandmother was up on Margate Road in Upper Darby. I guess she had gotten Courtney off to school. And we just thought it would be a day like any other. It was a beautiful day outside. Crystal clear weather, no clouds in the sky. Next thing you know, grandmother called and said a plane just hit a building in downtown New York. Turn on the TV. So I went downstairs and turned on the TV. And I called my grandfather, or my father, your grandfather, and said, "Oh, this is horrible. Some plane an airliner just crashed into the World Trade Center." He's like, "What?" So we just figured it was an accident. And just then, boom, a second one hit. There were two towers there. They've built a single tower to replace it, and it's beautiful, with a beautiful memorial underneath it that we've been to. And we knew we were under attack. We didn't know who was attacking us. We had no idea who the enemy was. You know, if the Russians were coming or the Chinese were coming, we'd kind of know about it. It takes them a while to get their navies and armies and air forces positioned, so we would know. But this was an ingenious attack against us. So I went surfing because that's what I've always done when I just needed to get away from everything. As I said, it was a beautiful day. It was also amazing surf too. It was 3 to 5 foot, gentle offshore breeze holding the waves up. You had to paddle maybe 1/8 of a mile to 1/4 of a mile offshore to get to a sandbar. That's where the break was. It wasn't shore break. So like it is here, it's short. It's mostly a sandbar break here too. I think that's an East Coast thing. And as I was paddling out, I looked to the left, which is directly to the north, and I could see a smudge on the horizon, and I realized what I'm looking at is the World Trade Center fire, whatever you want to call it. the smoke from that. And it's like, whoa. So I surfed and went home, and everybody was just trying to put the pieces back together. You know, what's going on? There's a lot of disinformation about who had done it and everything. At one point we thought, well, we're obviously not going up to, I think it was Parsippany, New Jersey. They're not going to be having that. But we found out that they were having it. So on the morning of the 14th, we got in touch with Johnny, and he said, no, I got called up, my reserve unit called me up, National Guard unit, whatever. So I can't come. And we headed up. I put WPEN on the radio. That's the University of Pennsylvania radio station. And normally they played progressive rock. They had to have like the World Cafe on that station. So they don't play mainstream rock and roll music. They would normally not play Billy Joel. They wouldn't play any like soul music or anything like that. And Bruce Springsteen. Not that that's not good music, but it's just not the genre that they play on there. It's kind of hoity-toity. And they only played New York City songs. They played a disco song called You're a Native New Yorker. They played just across 110th Street, which is, I guess, rhythm and blues. They played New York State of Mind. The night that the lights went out, which was about this power outage in New York City. Both songs by Billy Joel. And they played a song by Bruce Springsteen, which I'll get into in a minute. So it's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorite songs. If I ever did like a top 5 list, it would be in that list. And if it gets in that list, it means a lot. So as we drove up, we went straight up like the turnpike, and then we had to cut to go to the west, but we were fairly close to New York City when we made that cut to go west, and you could smell the smoke. We thought, oh, we're going to the most depressing place in the world. This wedding, I mean, how can it have any joy to it? But it did. It did. There were people there that were affected by this thing. I don't know if anybody lost family members, but they lost friends and acquaintances, I'm pretty sure, from talking to the folks there that night. And one guy got up, I don't know who he was, and he gave a speech, and he said, we can't let them take things like this away from us. Then they win. We have to keep living the lives that we live. We can't live in fear. It was amazing. But even more amazing than that is that Karen and Mark went to Hawaii the next Monday. As soon as this happened, they shut down air traffic control. The entire United States. There were no planes flying that weren't military planes. Karen and Mark got on, I'm sure, one of the first flights. They said they had Hawaii to themselves. They probably had the airplane to themselves too. And they went on their honeymoon. And when I think back to September 11th, 2001, I think about how horrible it was, and I think about how lucky my mom was not to see it, and how unlucky my dad was to see that before he died, because he died not knowing if we were going to survive that day. But I always think about that wedding. And hey, happy anniversary. I need to turn a couple lights on here. Because I'm an old man with bad vision. And this is a bit of a complicated song. It's called New York City Serenade, and it's about people who want to go to Broadway, but they don't live near Broadway. They're a train ride away from Broadway. They live in a poor part of town, and they live a street life. Like if it was today, they'd probably be thugs or gangsters, whatever you want to say. I'm an old man, so I don't know. I'm a foolish old man. But they want to go there, and they want to strut down the street. And this song, when I hear it, it reminds me of that person's speech, saying, don't let them take this away from you. So here's New York City Serenade by Bruce Springsteen. Sitting low in the backseat of his Cadillac, a diamond jacket, she's so intact as she falls so softly beneath him. Jackie's heels are stacked, Billy's got cleats on his boots. Together they're gonna boogaloo down Broadway and come back home with all the loot. It's midnight in Manhattan. This is no time to get cute. It's a mad dog's promenade. So walk tall. Oh, baby, don't walk at all. Fish lady, fish lady, she calls him tenement walls. She won't take on her boys, ain't got no money, and they're so easy. I said, hey baby, take my hand, walk with me down Broadway. I'm a young man, talking real proud, walking real proud for you. So take it away, shake away your street life, shake away your city life, hook it to the train, hook it to the night train, hook it to the train, hook it to the night train. Oh, I know that you won't take the train. Oh, no. Oh, she won't take the train. Oh, she won't take the train. She won't take the train. She won't take the train. She's afraid them tracks are gonna slow down. And when she turns, this boy becomes so long. Sometimes you just gotta walk on. Hey vibes man, hey jazz man, play your serenade. Any deeper blue, and you're playing in your grave. Save your notes, don't spend them on the blues, boy. Save your notes, don't spend them on the darling yearling shop, boy. Straight for the church note ringing, vibes man singing trash man, listen to your junk man. Listen to your junk man. Listen to your junk man. He's singing, singing, he's singing, singing, he's singing, all dressed up in satin, walking down the alley, singing, singing, singing. Watch out for your junk man. Watch out for your junk man. Happy 22nd birthday. Happy 22nd anniversary, Karen and Mark. I hope you have a ton of good years in front of you, and you can get through anything because you got through all that, and you made my life so much better by being who you are. Peace out.